Hello there and good day. My name is Jesse Pullman. I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about, the Equal Rights Amendment, and we're going to be talking about standing up for your values before there's a deadline. So, for those who don't know, the Equal Rights Amendment is what it sounds like. It's a constitutional amendment proposed way back in the day to establish that equal rights are a thing, because the Constitution, I guess, doesn't. We're going to talk about that by looking at some things, some articles, and we're going to just go through it. Consider this sort of like a primer in how to read an article if you're unfamiliar with like how to do that. I'm going to be trying some new technology out, so if it doesn't work quite right, that's fine. This is my cat Ariel. She's a part of most of our videos. She just is off screen a lot of times. So, with that in mind, let's go to a statement by President Joe Biden. This is a statement from the president on the Equal Rights Amendment. I have long supported the Equal Rights Amendment. I don't know why this is red. I don't know what's going on here. That no one should be discriminated against based on their sex. Now, it's interesting that they say based on their sex, because I feel like the Equal Rights Amendment should be doing more than just their sex. It should be doing like their gender identity. It should be doing their race. It should be doing their religion. But some of those things are already considered covered under the 14th Amendment. Some of them aren't, and that's kind of bullshit. We as a nation must affirm and protect women's full equality once and for all. So right there, it's telling you what this is about. On January 27th, 2020, I said that so wrong the first time. The Commonwealth of Virginia became the 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. The American Bar Association, that's a legal thing. The bar is a legal thing in this case. Not like, getting tipsy. It's like the bar of lawyers, which I guess maybe they get tipsy. I don't know. Who knows? Recognize that the Equal Rights Amendment has cleared all necessary hurdles to be formally added to the Constitution. I agree with the ABA. So, cool. This is all really important information, especially the date, January 17th, 2025. It's the 19th. On the 20th, Trump takes office. Why are we getting this now? Why is this happening now? Why now? Why not? I don't know. Back in 2020. Okay. So here's a news article about it. It's from CNN Politics. Biden says Equal Rights Amendment is ratified, kicking off expected legal battle as he pushes through final executive actions. Cool. That's great. So the media is acknowledging this is a thing. The amendment, which was passed by Congress in 1972, which is different than ratification, by the way, keep that in mind, enshrines equal rights for women. So again, focuses on women here, which isn't necessarily equal rights, because like, not getting into the weeds with gender identity stuff, but like an equal rights amendment sounds like it should cover more than just women. But that's still a good thing, right? We're not making perfect the enemy of good. Yes, it should be everybody. But at least it's this, right? I mean, we've got this. It could be better, but we've got this. Biden says a bunch of stuff. Cool. Legal experts contend it isn't that simple. Ratification deadlines lapsed, and 5 states have rescinded their approval. So, in other words, rescinded means they took it back. So they passed it previously, but then a new administration came into office and they pulled it on back. So, Biden is leaning on the American Bar Association's opinion. Let's go to the National Archives, because this matters. The archives are the last people that have to ratify this. Basically, they're the ones who go to the Constitution and they write down on it, hey, we're changing what's on this document. We're adding a thing at the bottom that goes with the rest of it. As archivist and deputy archivist of the United States, it's our responsibility to uphold the integrity of the constitutional amendment process and ensure that changes to the Constitution are carried out in accordance with the law. At this time, the ERA, Equal Rights Amendment, cannot be certified as part of the Constitution due to established legal, judicial, and procedural deadlines. In 2020 and again in 2022, interesting, the Office of Legal Counsel of the Department of Justice, wait a minute, now here's what's interesting. I know where this is going, you might not. The Department of Justice is underneath Biden. Now, there's not supposed to be direct interference between the president and the legal system, but there can be, and the Supreme Court kind of thinks there should be when you look at some of the judicial rulings they made recently about the president being a monarch, but it's another story. The Office of Legal Counsel affirmed that the ratification deadline established by Congress is valid and enforceable. Okay. We're going to look at the Constitution Center. The National Constitution Center will be closed due to inclement weather. Hey, it's snowing outside. That means climate change isn't real. Yes, it's real. So, updated, Joe Biden said he believes the thing. Original story. So you've got the original story. This is actually really good journalism because it includes like, hey, there's an update as of this date, right? I say journalism. This is like an organization. Let's do a quick thing. Let's do the thing we should always do when we're looking at an organization. Go up to the About thing. About. National Constitution Center brings together people of all ages and perspectives across America around the world to celebrate the Constitution. Now, who runs the Constitution Center? Let's look that up. The National Constitution Center. Hi, cat. You're attacking me. Okay. Yes, I love you too. Don't bite me. She's always fun to deal with. Excuse me. This is like being recorded live, so I need to just set her on the ground. Alright, cool. National Constitution Center. I got a little bite. It's fine. And I like to go to the Wikipedia on it. It's a nonprofit institution devoted to the study of the Constitution. It was founded in September 17th, 2000. The center was created by the Constitution Heritage Act, approved in 1988 and signed by Ronald Reagan. Now, this is where I quote Leisha Miller when I say Ronald Reagan ruined everything. Go buy one of her sweaters. They're pretty cool, actually. Just because it was made by Reagan doesn't mean it's terrible. It is what it is. But look at its leadership. All official people, and it's currently led by Neil Gorsuch, who, if we all know Neil Gorsuch, is kind of a lunatic. Judicial activist is the term that Republicans would use to describe him. So when you consider that these are the people that run it, technically like the chairmen are like heads of state, except like, you know, Supreme Court justices. That's a thing. So anyway, we're going back to this article. The dispute over paragraph. The plain language of the Constitution's Article 5 establishes the basic processes of amending. The American Bar Association. Let's look at the Bar Association's resolution real quick. Okay, so there's not much here. There's lots of little paragraphs and videos that we're not going to watch right now. Call to action for DEI success. That's a funny way to put it. So the lawyers are in favor of DEI. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. The Supreme Court has considered similar questions about things before. The challenger claimed the inclusion of a 7-year ratification deadline by Congress in the amendment was unconstitutional. In the unanimous opinion, Justice Willis van Devanter, that's an interesting name, van Devanter. I'm saying it with the German accent because I'm assuming it's German, but I could be wrong. Devanter wrote that we do not find anything in Article 5 which suggests that an amendment once proposed is open to ratification for all time, or the ratification of some of the states may be separated from others in many years and be effective. We do find that which strongly suggests the contrary. That's legalese. The period of 7 years fixed by Congress in the resolution proposing the 18th Amendment was reasonable. Okay. We're going to stop looking at the news here. Why? Because we have something we need to talk about, which is this. We're down this rabbit hole, which is an important rabbit hole to be down because we do want equal rights amendments that cover everybody, but at least women. And we have the statement from Joe Biden that came out January 17th of 2025 regarding an amendment that was certified by Virginia in 2020. That's before Biden's administration started. We started this video off by saying we're going to talk about standing up for your values before the clock runs out. The clock is out. If Biden or Harris had won in 2024, then they could fight this battle because they'd be in a position of authority. They're not. They're leaving in the office, 4 days later? Trump's taking office tomorrow. And here we are with this amendment battle that we're going to fight in 3 days, that Biden's going to tell the archivist to publish. The archivist has already said I'm not doing it. This was a fight to have had day one of the administration. Instead, you have the Justice Department, Biden's own Justice Department, saying we can't do this. The archivist saying we can't do this. And the Supreme Court kind of going like, yeah, this doesn't seem sketchy, at least in the past. I mean, granted, you have a different Supreme Court now. You might get any different kind of result, but I don't know what to say. You stand up for your values in advance. This is why I made this the first video for this series. Because, yeah, it's a thing to have to go through and deal with legal stuff and deal with all that. But, my God, you should have had this argument years ago. You should have pushed this the minute you took office, Mr. Biden. I know you're listening. I don't know what to say. That's all there is. I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and help this thing grow. I'm going to do one more video on TikTok. Then I have to do a little micro editing and put some video stuff together and then slap these on YouTube. So there should be one more video coming out after this today. And there's the previous one introducing this Dystopian Report. Thank you all again so much for joining me. As I always say on my YouTube channels, pieces.